It's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, it's Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Just off the shores of Lake Erie, we are at First Energy Stadium in a city aptly named after its founder, Moses Cleveland, way back in 1796. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Denver Broncos and the Cleveland Browns. Hi again, everyone, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Browns ball club. The streak continues, doesn't it? They come in here a perfect 11-0. Meanwhile, for the visiting Broncos, they come in just in an absolute free-fall, losers of 7 in a row.
And this is where you turn to your best players and look at them and say, can you guide us out of this? We've got to be better than what we've shown.
The bye weeks are over. It's all about football all the time as we're underway here in Week 13. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. Leading them out is the Austin, Texas native at quarterback. It's Baker Mayfield.
And there's a lot of good to watch in the game last week. He threw 4 touchdown passes. A little bit of concern throwing the 2 interceptions.
Yeah, and the 2 picks.
Yeah, you want the ratio really to be closer to 3-1 as opposed to the 2-1 that he had. But it is something to build on. They did get the win, didn't they?
Yep. They run it for the first time with Tony Pollard. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. So here's the starting 11, and the human highlight reel, Odell Beckham Jr., watch out for him.
One of the few guys in the league that gets you and I out of our hotel rooms early to get here for pregame warm-ups and watch him go through his routine. He's absolutely amazing catching the football.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. On 2nd down, it's Pollard. And credit the tackle to Derek Barnett. On the defensive side of the ball, here are the starters for Denver. They've certainly had their struggles against the run at the 30th ranked unit out of 32 teams in the NFL.
And stopping the run, that's been an issue for them all season long. Aren't you glad that you're not coaching the defense right now?
I'm very glad. They said that they've seen it in doses, but very, very small doses.
Yeah, you've got to be consistent. It's down in and down out, being able to play it, understand what you have to get done, and finally stop some people, put them on the ground.
Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd. Defense had a chance to get off the field here on the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important 3rd down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
An eligible receiver downfield. Offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. They'll try to throw here. Mayfield. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Call that a very strong gain of 24. And early on, they're picking up right where they left off last week.
And I know a lot of coaches say each game is its own. You don't really have carryover. This feels like carryover. So much confidence from the previous game that they're using to their advantage now.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 42-yard line. They go play action. Mayfield eluding the pressure right. And avoids the contact by sliding. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
A first down throw for Mayfield. He rifles one that's intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick. And a big turnover back. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 11, he goes down. That'll set him back with a 2nd and 13.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Now on 2nd and 13, Bridgewater. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, 3rd down.
I think we'll see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need 3rd down. From the gun, Bridgewater. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Larry Ogunjobi in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Here's Matt Darr now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. To return is McKenzie. It takes a touchdown-saving tackle to bring him down as he goes 32 yards on the return. And the Browns have a short field in front of them now as they take over 1st and 10. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. Well, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. So that one will be accepted.
Oh, baby, let's go. Get it. 180. 47 is the mic. 47 is the mic. It's just regular.
Now a shotgun handoff to Pollard. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. On 2nd and a yard, Mayfield. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. He needed a yard. That's what he got, and it's going to earn him a new set of downs.
We ought to come up with a T-shirt and sell it that says, no indecision on 3rd and 1. And we didn't see it on that run, did we? Got his shoulder square, just got right into the line of scrimmage and picked it up.
Absolutely. Picked his lane, went with it, and converted. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss it? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going.
And he takes this one in for a Browns score. Samaje Perine, his first touchdown on the year. And the Browns have taken the early lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Extra point attempt to follow here. It's up and through to make it 7-0 Browns. So that drives 7 plays in length. And it's capped off by a touchdown run from Samaje Perine. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys a little bit jumpy.
You do.
Oh, you understand the same. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went
and
3
now
and
they
out.
have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 15 yards on the play, first down.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Out of the gun, Bridgewater. Got an open man, it's Fumagalli. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball, because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. From the shotgun, it's Bridgewater. And that will be incomplete.
certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
This one away by the punter, Dar. McKenzie now to return it. Trucks through him.
Oh, man, right through it.
Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And the Broncos get there and take him down. The sack there by Bradley Chubb.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Another try after the first down sack. Mayfield. And he'll be marked down at the 2-yard line. And that pick just sets him up beautifully right down near the goal line.
I remember being in a defensive meeting back when I was in college, and our defensive coordinator says, we're going to call this Be Who You Are defense. D linemen, you play the run. Linebackers, be aware of anything. And secondary, you play the pass. That way, you're all set, ready for whatever they put out there.
Meanwhile, here's a shot for the end zone right away, but it's incomplete. He was trying to find Noah Fant, the tight end, but it'll be 2nd and goal.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They come after him, they've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
How about this Browns defense? They've held so far. This is now 3rd and goal. They'll try to run with Lindsey. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Well, if this defense can hold them to a field goal here, what a win that would be.
Not just a win on the possession, but psychologically take over the ball game. But this started with 1st and goal, so they were in 4-down territory right from the beginning. I say you finish it off and go for the touchdown.
Now it's Chris Boswell on for the field goal try. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. Boswell's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. Now, that's something of a pick-me-up. The offense certainly has struggled, but they do get the field goal before half to put 3 on the board.
Yeah, you don't want to be shut out, but let's face it, those 3 points, that's not going to solve all their problems either.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Samaje Perine and the offense heading back out there. We're in the 2nd quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, trying to get him more involved here on this drive, maybe. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They start on the ground with Perine. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Charles, he doesn't seem to be particularly in tune with his receivers, just 2 for 7 throwing the football, but he did seem really locked in before the game.
Yeah, and that has to do with receivers sometimes. Sometimes the defenders knock them off their routes, and you're usually pretty precise. 1, 2, 3 cut, balls out of his hands to the receiver. In this case, might be off by a half step either way. They've got to find a way to get back in sync.
His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down. 2 minutes to play in this first half. 7-3, our score. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. He's going to let this one go deep, and that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. The intended receiver was Rashard Higgins, but it'll be second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You have to think on early downs like that first down there, he'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Von Miller, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Mayfield down. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now a man who punted for the Broncos for 6 years, Britton Colquitt, on to kick it away as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. Oh, and he's taking.
Entering settings screen, you have 18 options. Menu narration option is set to off is selected.
Down here by his face mask by the looks of it, and a penalty flag is going to give him much better starting position. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So after the face mask, they get to start all the way up past the 35 now. Bridgewater to throw it. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Bridgewater. He'll get this complete to Cooper Kupp. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. Here's Bridgewater.
We didn't need to ask.
And down he goes. The pressure getting to Bridgewater. Myles Garrett in there for the sack, and he's closing in on the all-time record. That's number 19 on the year. Here's Matt Darr now as he's on to punt for Denver. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. He'll return it from the 6. So we've reached intermission here in a low-scoring game. 7-3 is our score. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks. Back for the second half of Thursday Night Football in just a moment. But first, the bye weeks are over. We've got a full slate of 16 games once again. So let's give everybody a look ahead at what's to come here in Week 13. Plenty to look forward to in that early window. One being a noontime start up in Green Bay. A big one for the Packers as they'll square off against the Cincinnati Bengals. Good stuff to follow on the West Coast in the afternoon window. One being out in Oakland, where it'll be the Raiders taking on the Baltimore Ravens. And finally, on Monday Night Football, they've got a good one lined up between the Houston Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs.
There you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go.
Meanwhile, in our game, not a lot of offense to go around. 7-3 is our score. Will we see things open up in the second half? To find out, we get it back to our guys in the booth, Brandon Gott and Charles Davis.
And he will be marked down right there at the 20-yard line.
Let's go!
Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give them the lead. They need to take advantage of it.
And they're still looking for that first touchdown here in the third quarter. All they have so far, the field goal. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. Here's Bridgewater. Left side here, that's the tight end Fant. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Cooper Kupp was his intended target. And now it's second down.
Just work with me a second here because in my lifetime, seeing how quarterback percentages have changed in throwing the football, I mean, back in the good old days, if you were around 50%, you were doing okay. But now, you need to be 65 to 70% to be considered an elite quarterback. And in this ball game, I feel like we're playing old school, right around 50%.
Yeah, he's under 50%. He needs to start hitting more targets. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here.
And we haven't gotten an announcement, but it appears to me that he might be a little dinged up and is just trying to play through. You know, he's one of those tough guys that wants to answer the bell each and every play for his team. That might be throwing off his accuracy.
As the offense comes out, we put our Madden spotlight on Baker Mayfield. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. Well, sometimes when you try to defend OBJ, you're going to get a PI call.
You might get a PI called at just about any point during his route. And I think a lot of teams have taken the whole philosophy of, hey, just go ahead and do what you have to do and hope eventually they'll quit calling it. But not in this case. They dropped the flag for the pass interference.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him. Play fake. Mayfield. Njoku pulls this one in. He's got it for a Cleveland touchdown. David Njoku with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Browns add on to their lead. Yeah, he is a reliable target. They like to get him involved. They got him involved there for the score.
And they should. He's a very good player. Remember, they can use him in certain positions, so many different spots, and he usually comes through for them.
Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm. A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
The drive will commence with a run by Lindsey. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. A huge play there for Denver. 44 yards. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well. They'll get a few stops.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Now Bridgewater. That's caught over the middle by Fant.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. His throw caught at about the 5. And now a fumble. The ball's out. And this is picked up by the Browns. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, he did what he's known for. He made the catch, then he turned into a runner, took the contact, and coughed it up.
And all I remember as a player, when they catch the ball, when those acrobatic guys catch it, you have to make them pay sometimes. You have to put it on them, big tackle, knock the ball free, anything you can do to slow them down.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
180. Let's pick it up. It's out of time, guys. Out of time. Let's get off the field. Let's get run. Check.
So the drive's going to start with Pollard. And he's going to lose yardage back to his own 1-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
They've got to do a better job up front and create some space because they're right there, almost literally on their own goal line.
Just a couple of feet away from a safety. That could have been disastrous. Out of his end zone, Mayfield. He'll get that to DeValve, the tight end. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be third down.
All right, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. Third and long coming up, back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle?
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to alter what he does.
That one's good for 35 yards on the ground and a first down.
So right after the defense gets you the ball on a takeaway and a fumble recovery of their own, you've got to reward them, don't you? You've got to stay out on the field, give them a chance to rest, and how about doing it the way they did it, running the football and picking it up on third down.
They would not have wanted to go 3 and out. They avoid that right there.
Yeah, they avoided the glares as they went back to the bench, didn't they? His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little game. A throw over the middle, taken in, and all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Odell Beckham. His 6th touchdown of the season, and the Browns add 6 to their lead.
And this is what coaches talk about, never being satisfied. No matter what the lead, always trying to increase it. You never know what can happen in this NFL.
Now the extra point. And it's 21-3. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it's capped off by the Browns touchdown. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is taken at the 3. And there is a flag as he's brought down right at the 25-yard line. But who's this going to be against?
Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Here's a throw, complete right side to start things out. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that'll make it a second down. One quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Throwing again on second down. Bridgewater, and he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Rashawn Gary in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Remember, throughout my career here, defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. Now White lost the football, and this is picked up by the Browns. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return for a Browns TD. Even the great ones, some of the best, they're not immune to the fumble, and here it really hurts them.
If the ball gets away from any runner's body, that's when the defense pokes at it, swipes at it, swats at it, and finds a way to create a big play for themselves.
A try here for the extra point. And they open the lead up now to 25 points. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And Denver getting set to take the field. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. A throw left side to start out. That's complete. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. Now a quick throw as that's complete on the hitch route. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. A 4-receiver look here. 3 out to the left, 1 to the right on 2nd and 8. Throwing, Bridgewater. And down he goes. The pressure getting to Bridgewater. Sione Takitaki. He brought the pressure on the blitz, and he gets there for a loss of 12. That's number 4. Sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right? And
this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Here's Matt Darr now as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is taken at the 18. A terrific return. 30 yards all in all. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the 4th quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the airport. In a lopsided blowout, the roads are usually open.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the...
And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. Odell Beckham, his 2nd touchdown of the night, and the Browns are pouring it on.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know they're playing people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. The point after is good, and the lead will swell by one more. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of...
And that's caught inside the 30. A huge play there for Denver. 41 yards. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the fourth, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Bronco football as we get your reset here. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. A pass there complete to Sutton. And a couple of yards as they move it from the 21 to the 19. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. To throw, Bridgewater. He's got a man. It's Sutton that's complete. So 5 plays on this drive, Charles. All passes, all completions. And just like that, they're in the red zone.
And don't you think the playbook opens up a little bit more now? Because all they've done is throw the football. If you want to run it now, you may very well have them fooled.
It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's first and goal. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. He's at the 50, 30, past the 20. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Browns defense has a touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
The call is to go for one and kick the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And Denver getting set to take the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Out to the flat, that's complete to his running back. They'll give him a yard on the play, and it's a second down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Throwing is Bridgewater into a double team, and it's intercepted. Greedy Williams picks it off, and his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Cleveland, the streak continues as they push their mark to a perfect 12-0 now on the year. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, not much more to say. They dropped to 1-11, and they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.